All right, let's dive into something pretty wild in the world of structural engineering. We're going to talk about a strange regulatory time warp, a situation where using the newest standard isn't just a bad idea, it's actually illegal. I know, it sounds totally backward, right? In just about every other part of life, newer means better, safer, more up to date. But when it comes to construction products, the answer to this question is a definite yes. And you know what? Getting this wrong can lead to some seriously big problems. So here it is, the heart of the whole paradox. You've got two versions of the European standard for these structural bolts, one from 2007 and a newer one from 2016. Now, you'd think the 2016 version is the one to use, but nope. For all legal purposes, for product marking, for compliance, it's totally dormant. It has no power. The older 2007 version is the only one that's legally active. So what on earth is going on here? To get our heads around this, we need to talk about a really important legal process in the European Union called harmonization. This is the hurdle that newer standard just couldn't get over, and it's the key to solving this whole regulatory puzzle. And that brings us to this term, a harmonized standard, or HEN for short. See, a standard isn't just a technical guide. For it to have any legal weight, for it to be the basis for a CE mark, it has to be officially published in something called the Official Journal of the European Union, the OJEU. You can think of the OJEU as the final, legally binding stamp of approval. Without that stamp, a standard is just a recommendation. And listen, this isn't just someone's opinion. This is black and white law. This quote right here is from the EU Commission's own guidance, and it is crystal clear. The only version of a standard you can use for CE marking is the one you find listed in the official journal. It doesn't matter what other documents have been published since. When it comes to the law, the OJEU is the boss. And here's the kicker. If you go look at the official journal, you'll find it only lists one version for these bolts, EN 15048-1 2007. The 2016 update? It was never accepted, never published in the journal. This effectively froze the 2007 standard in time as the one and only active law on the books. So what does that mean? It means that while an engineer might look at the 2016 version for technical info, a manufacturer absolutely cannot use it to put a CE mark on a product. If they do, that mark is legally meaningless. It's a void certification. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, okay, that's an EU thing. But after Brexit, the UK set up its own system that basically created the exact same situation, just with its own UKCA mark. So on screen, you can see the two key players here. You've got the CE mark, which is your passport for products inside the European Union, and the UKCA mark, which does the same job over in Great Britain. And this table just lays it all out, nice and clear. It's a perfect mirror. When the UK created its own system, it essentially took the EU's list of harmonized standards and renamed them designated standards. The name changed, but the result is exactly the same. The only valid legal version for both the EU and Great Britain is the 2007 standard. The 2016 version, not cited in the EU, not designated in the UK. End of story. Okay, so we've gone through the what and the why of all this, but the most important question is, so what? Why should you care about this legal stuff? Well, it all comes down to one word: liability. The risk here isn't just some theoretical legal footnote. It's real, it's tangible, and it can be incredibly expensive. Using a product that's been marked against the wrong standard, that non-harmonized 2016 version, breaks the entire chain of legal compliance. And the fallout from that is massive. An invalid compliance mark could actually invalidate a building's insurance. It can cause a project to fail critical site inspections, which means materials get rejected right there on the job site. At the end of the day, it means the CE or UKCA mark itself is totally void, and that puts a huge amount of legal and financial liability on everyone involved, from the manufacturer all the way to you. So, with all that on the line, what's the right way forward? How do you stay safe? It's actually really simple. You have to follow the law as it's written today, not as you think it should be. And this quote just says it all. This is the key takeaway. A responsible professional supplier uses the 2007 version not because they're out of date, but because they are laser-focused on following the law. It's a very deliberate choice they make to protect their customers, to protect you from all those risks we just talked about. And this is exactly why certified manufacturers like Andrew's Fasteners are so clear about it. They base their CE and UKCA approvals strictly on the legally required EN 15048-1 2007 standard. This commitment means their products are 100% compliant and they will pass any inspection. But most importantly, it ensures your project and your liability are protected. In this complex regulatory world, sticking to the letter of the law isn't about being old-fashioned. It's about being a professional you can count on.